It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the treehouse. Today is Friday, May 9th, 2025. Welcome inside the treehouse today. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm, Raj Sharma, and Jerry Caldwell.
Holy crap, we are almost halfway through the year.
I know, freaky, right? And not only that, but if I read my calendar correctly, Sunday is Mother's Day. Sunday is Mother's Day. Are you giving your mom all the Mother's Day vibes this year? Let me clarify. Are you buying your mom a vibrator for Mother's Day?
Absolutely not.
Different strokes for different folks. I know you're wondering who in their right mind would gift their mom an adult toy for Mother's Day. Gwyneth Paltrow. It's Gwyneth Paltrow. So obviously I'm using the phrase right mind very loosely here. Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop publication, very appropriately named today, released a Mother's Day gift guide. And the options run from affordable to ridiculously extravagant. For example, there's a $25 memory journal, which is probably something I need, and a $17,000 necklace. But Gwyneth also believes your mom should pleasure herself this year with the Womanizer Enhanced Love Toy. It's only $159 plus shipping. But isn't your mother's happiness priceless?
No.
No, Trey feels it very much has a price tag on it. Now, look, Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't even know which Marvel movies she's been in, so I will not be taking any gift-giving advice from her. So if not an adult love toy for mom, what is your Mother's Day gift plan this year? Trey, we'll start with you because you're the one that I'm really mostly curious about to get an answer. What are you doing for your mom for Mother's Day? Besides not throwing her downstairs.
It'd be more rolling her at this point.
Yeah, because you're right. It would be. It's like you just lean down and whisper. It's like, Mom, all I got to do is just one little push.
Getting her nothing. Taking her to lunch.
That's something. So your gift is your presence.
Is it like
my plan is actually I'm going to go see my stepmother on Mother's Day, and then I'm going to take my mother to lunch on Monday.
Is your mom going to know? And I mean this mostly respectfully. Is your mom going to know it's not Mother's Day and it's the day after?
It depends on the day.
That's the beauty. That's the one good thing about having a mom who isn't necessarily all there mentally, is you can tell her that it's Mother's Day, even if it's Monday.
No, with my mom, anything that could be associated with guilt, she'll remember.
Fair enough.
And by lunch, are you like, is it like a sit down lunch, or are you just like to the drive through and then back at the house?
He's just gonna roll her through the Taco Bell drive through.
You get what you want, girl.
Look, Mom, it's either this or the stairs.
I don't know which fate is worse.
Raj, I know that your mother has passed on, so
Yes.
I won't bother you with this question unless you have something special you do for Mother's Day for your mom.
No.
But Jerry, what about you? What are you going to get for your mama?
Well, both of my mothers have also passed.
Okay.
So it'll be a
so now it's a money saving holiday.
Yeah. There will be phone call to the mother figures on Mother's Day.
Gotcha.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, there's not a Hallmark card for like Happy Mother's Day, you're dead.
Yeah. I've looked. It's
well. Also, where would you send it?
there's a little slot there at the gravesite. You slide it down in there.
That's not a bad idea, actually. You should actually. They should make those at cemeteries. A little mail slots you can drop stuff in.
Yeah, I would put no soliciting on mine.
I'd send them junk mail.
But I'm
Nothing like
Indian enough. I'm Indian enough to where I'm like, let's keep the coupons.
Spam the dead. It's just
Also,
what I-
great name for a punk rock band is Spam the Dead.
just keep inserting car warranty coupons in there. Oh. Yeah, so I mean, Mother's Day, not everyone has the best gift ideas, and I certainly wouldn't go to Gwyneth Paltrow for gift giving ideas.
Well-
And I'm not sure if anyone really would actually give their mama an adult toy for Mother's Day. If so, you can check out Gwyneth Paltrow's recommendation.
What are you doing for yours, Dan?
The new tradition for Mother's Day is me having Tiff's treats delivered, because I know my mom likes cookies and ice cream, and I can send both through Tiff's Treats. This is not a paid endorsement from Tiff's Treats, although if they would like to, treehouseonair@gmail.com would be happy to spark a paid relationship. But yeah, usually it's Tiff's Treats. Because you know why? Because remember back when we were on the Eagle, we would do the Sherry's Berries endorsement stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So once the marketing agency realized that Russ hated his mom and wasn't sending the berries to her, we were all just eating them. The account shifted to me because I would send them to my mom. But it was soon after I realized that my mom doesn't like fruit of any kind. So they were really wasted on her. So then I shifted over to the Tiff's Treats. Can't go wrong with the cookies.
And
If
those
we
are really
got-
good cookies.
If we got sponsored by Tiff's Treats, the boxes on this broadcast, this thing, are not big enough. I would be 500 pounds.
Yeah. The video boxes that we use to record video on this show would need to be double landscaped.
Yeah. I can say no to alcohol. I can say no to cigarettes. I cannot say no to a snickerdoodle.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you love guns or hunting, you're going to love Defender Outdoors. Defender Outdoors Shooting Center is 43,000 square feet of guns, gun range, and gun fun. Firearms, ammo, apparel, accessories, and more. Have a bachelor party, birthday, or team building event? All-inclusive packages available for endless entertainment. Training classes are added weekly, and private instruction is always available. Come see why Defender has been voted the best gun range in North Texas 5 years in a row. Visit us at defenderoutdoors.com. Defender Outdoors. Are you a defender?
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Defender Outdoors. Defender Outdoors is Fort Worth's premier indoor gun range and retail facility. In addition to it being an outstanding, safe, beautiful, and fun gun range, it also has 6,000 square feet of retail space stocked with your favorite brands of guns, ammo, gear, optics, knives, and amazing retail associates to help you with that next purchase. For your next firearms and gear purchase, go to Defender Outdoors in Fort Worth and use code Treehouse for special discounts. That works both in-store and online at defenderoutdoors.com. Defender Outdoors, Fort Worth's premier indoor gun range. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm, Raj Sharma, and Jerry Caldwell on a Friday. Raj, what was it you were just telling Jerry?
Oh, I mean, his goatee is coming in strong. I can admire that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're starting to look like a Sons of Anarchy extra. Nicely done.
Yeah. Or just Chad Kroger let himself go.
Or never was.
Yeah, you should just like roll up to the Ritz-Carlton and be like, I'm the lead singer of Nickelback, and just see what they do.
Because if they look up a photo
Yeah.
and hold it next to your face, it'd probably work.
Yeah, you could just go look at this photograph and then just start singing it.
Just start singing the song to let you right. Okay, that's clearly him. Yeah.
Thank you for the tip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just recently got some tips on taking care of it. I got a new beard oil.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you get? Do they have that at Defender Outdoors, or is it just gun oil? Or can you use like a little bit of both?
I use coconut oil, so that helps a lot.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Trey is looking at all of us with our facial hair and just with a big "FU" light up sign
Oh, I
over
know.
his head.
Trey hasn't shaved in 3 weeks. So I shaved this morning before I came on.
Trey,
this looks like this.
Trey, are you ever envious of really strong facial hair game? Like not me so much, but like a Raj, especially Jerry, looking at how strong his goatee looks right now. You ever think, man, I wish I could, or are you happy without it?
In general, I'm happy without it, but occasionally, yeah, I'm like, that'd be cool if I didn't look like a leper when I didn't shave for a week.
Okay, so if you could grow facial hair, Trey, like what would be what would you do? Just go straight mustache, or you want to go full beard, or like a handlebar?
Raj, I'm glad you asked this because I think Trey would look really good with just a mustache. Classic. Yeah.
I don't see. It's ultimately, even like facial hair, no, I don't think I could ever do it for long. But yeah, just the ability to grow a full beard would be cool.
Well, the goatee is not by choice. This is all I can grow. The parts that have no hair on them, it just doesn't grow there.
So the cheeks have no growth, but everything around your mouth grows.
Yes. There's just a little bit of shaping, just a little bit, because I have a few colonists that have kind of tried to secede out here in my cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to get rid of those. But other than that, this is it.
Wow. That must be nice.
It's amazing to have that much growth in one area, but not the rest of the area. That is so weird.
Yeah, I have to trim my beard at least once a week, if not twice.
Yeah.
Because it grows that fast.
I didn't get any hair on my chest until I was in my 30s.
That's weird.
That is super weird.
Mm-hmm. And now
Did you freak out?
Well, I mean, a little bit, because it's two really long ones on each side right there around the areola there. And I mean, we're talking like long when you pull them out.
Why don't you just shave? That's, first of all,
Well said.
Yeah, you just went, I didn't grow any chest hair, but you didn't either. You just have nipple hair. That's what you have. So just shave it.
I mean, I'm not even sure if that classifies as hair. It just sounds like two nipple vines.
I have no chest hair.
Oh,
what are you, a seal?
Welsh Irish, I think is the answer.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah, I'm not even wearing a black shirt. This is just what my chest looks like.
Man, can you imagine how much fun Trey has on a slip and slide?
He just keeps going.
Yeah, like there's a wall at the end and it's needed. Otherwise, Trey would still be going.
People at the water park must love you. He's done in 2 seconds. Like, oh, there you go. He's already in the water.
Speaking of which, R.I.P. to the black hole in Arlington, Texas. Got torn down recently at Hurricane Harbor, or as we all knew it when we were kids, Wet and Wild.
Wet and Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. The black hole was an iconic ride right there off of I-30 in Arlington, and it recently got torn down, making way for a new attraction, something that Trey can slip down in a matter of seconds.
What was the other? So there were, at one point, there were 2 water parks in Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one?
Oh, 2 in Arlington?
Yes. There was Wet and Wild and there was something else. And then Six Flags ended up buying them both, and I think basically kind of combining them into one. What
I remember out of that was you had Wet and Wild, and next door to it was, I think it was Fun Sphere. And it was like a go-kart arcade type thing. They bought that and combined it, because I remember doing go-karts there at Fun Sphere and video games. I don't remember there being a second water park. I thought there were 2 water parks.
There was a second water park.
I do remember a second Wet and Wild in Garland.
Right.
Yes,
it was originally Whitewater.
Yes.
Yeah. Whitewater. Yes. Okay.
That was in Garland.
That was where I almost died.
Yeah. I think everybody almost
Garland.
died.
Wet
Yeah.
and Wild Garland is where I almost
Maybe it was
flew
started
off
out
the
as
ride.
Whitewater, and then it went to Wet and Wild, and
I know what you're
Six Flags
talking about,
bought it.
Trey. It was a place called Surf and Swim.
Surf
They
and
had the
Swim is
wave-
in Garland.
They had one there, and they had one in Arlington.
Oh, they
It
did?
was like a wave.
Yep.
They had a wave pool and the whole
Yes.
9
Yeah.
yards. Yeah,
Okay.
Maybe that's the one.
yeah. It's the Wet and Wild in Garland turned into a CarMax.
Mhm.
Safer, much safer that way.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I may not have a good memory, but I remember this day in 8th grade.
Mm.
It was went with my buddy Brad, and we went to Wet and Wild Garland.
Mhm.
That, looking back on it, that should have been a red flag.
Yes.
But I forget what the ride was called, but it was the really tall one. It was the tallest ride at Wet and Wild, just the one
White
that
Lightning.
was just White Lightning.
White Lightning. And it
That
had the
was-
timer at the end.
Okay,
Or
I don't
the-
know if it had a timer, but White Lightning also sounds like Trey's nickname at the water park. But it was the ride where you take the stairs all the way to the top of the platform, and it's just a long ramp going down, right? Slide.
Mhm.
But there was a little bump in the middle of it, like a little hump, and then it goes back down, right? So it
Mhm.
wasn't just straight down. There's like a little hump about a quarter of the way down. That's where it almost killed me, because I go face first, I go
Mhm.
down, and when I hit the hump on the slide, I got air. And oh God, I get chills thinking about it to this day.
Uh-huh.
I got so much air, my entire body left the slide, and I was no longer in contact with Wet and Wild Garland. And thank God I landed back in the slide, because had I been a little left or a little right, I would have been a permanent stain on the concrete at the new CarMax.
Can you imagine Trey? He'd be in the atmosphere.
He'd be up there next to the Tesla.
Powder 2.
Powder goes to space.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you are listening to the Treehouse Show on 103.5 The X Brownwood Rocks, there's the chance you might miss some of the show, but you can catch up with the Treehouse Show podcast. The Treehouse Show podcast is available on all major streaming and podcasting platforms like Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon Music, and more. You can go to treehouseonair.com and subscribe right there on your favorite streaming or podcasting platform, the Treehouse Show podcast. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm, Raj Sharma, and Jerry Caldwell. We were just sharing our childhood experiences of Wet and Wild. Me specifically, the time I almost died at the Wet and Wild Garland as a child. Jerry, you said the same thing happened to you?
I had a very similar experience. I was a really skinny kid. And I am going down this thing, White Lightning, baby, and just I hit that bump, and I actually started moving off the track. There was enough wind that and of course it caught me, and I landed, but I remember my left side kind of hanging up on the edge of that slide a little bit when I came back down.
Ugh. Wow. Yeah, I almost died. I almost died at the Surf and Swim in Garland. We came in, I think, like first or second for my soccer team. And that was what we won, was a little trip to the Surf and Swim. And I was just on my little raft, chilling, enjoying the sun. And I kind of drifted off to sleep, and I didn't hear the horn for the wave pool. And I just woke up to being knocked over. And I got knocked over. The raft tumbled over. I went straight down. And as I tried to swim up, every wave coming down would push me back down. And there was this Hispanic lady that was swimming with her kids, and I loved it. It was just the most immigrant move ever. She just grabbed me by my hair and just pulled me up and just swam me to the other side, and just threw me up on the little concrete. And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much for that, ma'am." Also, can I have a clump of hair back?
Yeah, I think that's how you can kind of define your childhood is whether or not you almost drowned in the wave pool
Mhm.
at a water park. And I'm with you. I had that. I almost did a drowning.
Yep.
Yep.
But I mean, even crazier than that. I mean, do any of y'all remember Lion Country Safari?
Yes.
No.
That was in Grand Prairie, kind of where the horse track is now. But I mean, literally, you could drive through, and it's in the beginning, you drove through the lion and tiger enclosures, like they could come up to your car.
Mm-mm.
Bad idea.
I forget,
Amazing.
Trey, at the Lion Country Safari, did they give you the feed buckets? I mean, obviously not for the lions part.
So,
Welcome,
later,
children. Here's a bucket of chum. Have fun.
Well, for the lions, you are the feed bucket.
I was about to say yes.
well, you had people like my crazy stepmother who, before going into the lion exhibit, would rub ground beef all over her car.
That is hands down in my almost 50 years on this planet, and the majority of it in the state of Texas. That is the whitest thing I've ever heard anybody say out loud. There are people that can't afford eggs right now, Trey. Your mom was just taking ground chuck and just rolling it on the Buick.
Yep.
I am thoroughly stunned. That's the not only yeah, Raj, it's one of the whitest things even I've heard, but that may be one of the wildest things I have ever heard in my life.
Oh, she
Yeah.
thought it was a great, and it's funny. It was a Buick Skylark. But yeah, no, she thought it was the greatest thing ever.
To
All
lose
right,
it.
I have to ask. Did it work?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Of course.
Lions coming up,
Yeah.
licking the car.
uh-huh.
Yeah. They had a good time. The bumper's gone, but hey, you know.
One of the tires is flat.
Well,
It's a good thing it was a Buick.
her car at one time her car stalled out, and so they had to, the ranger guys had to come get her, and so yeah.
Wow. Is that the one that turned into International Wildlife Park?
No, I think
That
so.
was in Grand Prairie as well.
It was Lion Country Safari, and then I swear maybe it was something else before, and then it was Lion Country Safari, and then it was you drove through, and certain parts they would give you a feed bucket, and you could feed like the giraffes and other, but then you would drive through the lion and tigers, and they were caged off, and you could just look at them. Obviously, they couldn't come close to your car. And then
I
I
wonder,
think
I wonder
Unless
what
you had
lawsuit happened.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
There
know
was a
one person got their finger bitten by a giraffe, and
Yeah.
because people don't realize like those, they'll bite anything. I saw one bite the lens off a camera.
Okay. Okay. So at Lion Country Safari,
Mhm.
your stepmom would cover the car in ground meat to attract the attention of the lions. Trey, you're an only child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you
Are you
always
sure?
an only child?
That's the day we lost Gary.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You can get even more Treehouse when you subscribe to Treehouse Plus. With Treehouse Plus, you get bonus content, subscriber-only episodes, including video, which I highly recommend for this episode because you need to see all of our faces when Trey tells us what his stepmom did to the car at Lion Country Safari. Jesus Christ. It's all available at patreon.com/treehouseonair. Patreon.com/treehouseonair to subscribe to Treehouse Plus today. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm, Raj Sharma, and Jerry Caldwell. This is unrelated to the previous topic, but I bet we find a way to weave the two together. Are you familiar with Dinosaur Time? Have you heard of Dinosaur Time? It's not the subtitle to the new Jurassic Park, or it's not the new subtitle to the Jurassic World movie no one asked for with Scarlett Johansson. That was my mistake. Dinosaur Time is the new viral food trend, and surprise, surprise, it's stupid. Dinosaur Time involves grabbing handfuls of greens like lettuce, spinach, or kale, and then just stuffing them in your mouth and then chewing them quickly, mimicking how herbivores ate during the Mesozoic era. Yes, really. Social media is to blame, specifically at Something's Up, SAHMTHINGSUP. Social media user at Something's Up is believed to be behind the viral videos. And she said on her TikTok that it's a way to boost your consumption of greens. She says the goal is simply to eat at least a full serving of green veggies before a meal, ideally quickly and while channeling a hungry dinosaur. She says, I just grab a large handful and eat everything I grab. Dinosaur Time is more about the goal than the process.
Yeah.
I have
And this
never
is
seen any of these videos, but I would just like to say that's how I eat salad.
Like a dinosaur?
Just, with the little, and you just that's
This is why we
You're
lose to
confusing a
China.
T-Rex with they didn't eat salad.
touche.
You guys are stuffing greens in your face, and meanwhile in China they're learning math and science.
Yeah, you're right. I think this is one of the symptoms of a greater problem.
Yes. Wow, that is
Yeah.
Really, if I haven't gotten my my greens intake for the day, it's like 2 cups of leafy vegetables. I will just grab a bag and just like eat them like a bag of potato chips until I get my 2 cups in.
Well, according to this new social media trend, the idea is just to do it really, really quickly so that way you can move on to something tastier. And then that way you get your daily allotment of vegetables. And since we're on the topic, I'd like to take this opportunity to announce my new viral food trend, the airplane. All you got to do is grab a spoon or a fork, load it up with veggies, and pretend it's a plane that needs to land in your mouth. Yes, you can do this yourself, but it does help if your mom or dad are around to hold the spoon and make the airplane noises.
What about wife for you, Dan?
She'll have to do that eventually when I have my stroke. Yeah. I know what's coming.
Oh, that's all I just picture is you in a high chair now.
Just legs kicking.
And there's Daniel with the big pencil.
Yeah. Except for me, it's not a high chair. It's just normal, I'm sure.
Got your little
Every
bib
chair.
on.
Every chair is a high chair.
Yeah. When you're a short king, every chair is a high chair. Ugh. Go ahead.
At dinner times, Tara's in the front going, "Open wide, Danny. Here it comes." Then in the bedroom.
That's what I'm going to say.
Got to make sure I remember which room I'm in so I know where to open.
Both still make airplane noises. That's the weird part.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you like the Treehouse Show, you will love us on social media. So give us a follow at Treehouse On Air to follow the Treehouse Show on social media. That's at Treehouse On Air to follow us on social media. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan. He's Trey. That's Raj. And there is Jerry. Today is Friday, May 9th, 2025. Let's celebrate with some birthdays. Turning 29 today, Noah Centineo. Noah Centineo turns 29 today. He is the heartthrob from the Netflix spy series, The Recruit. He was also Adam Smasher in the Rock's Black Adam movie, not the guy that did Nights on Hot 100 or Kiss FM at one point. That's a different Adam Smasher. This is the one from the comic book movie. So Noah Centineo turns 29 today. Mary Mauser is also 29. I believe, did we mention her earlier today? No, that was yesterday. It was yesterday we were talking about how good Trey looks age-wise compared to Rue McClanahan, who played Blanche in Golden Girls.
Mhm.
And Raj, you brought up Ralph Macchio's daughter in
Mhm.
Cobra Kai, right?
Yes.
Playing a high school kid.
Yeah.
Today's her birthday. Again, this is why we do birthdays, because we get really weird random content out of it, and sometimes the birthdays sneak in and become very timely based on something innocuous that we've thrown out recently. And this is a great example of that. Raj mentioned her yesterday, and here it is. Today is her birthday. Mary Mauser is 29 today. She plays Danielson's daughter, Samantha LaRusso, on Cobra Kai. Other birthdays today. Grace Gummer is Meryl Streep's daughter. She's 39. She plays FBI agent Dominique DePiero on Mr. Robot. She was also on Halle Berry's Extant and played the amazing Lizard Girl on American Horror Story Freak Show. From The Hills, Audrina Partridge is 40. Prince Fielder, former Texas Ranger and son of Cecil, is 41. Rosario Dawson, Jesus.
Yes.
I think I just accidentally stumbled onto what her bully name was in school. Rosario Dawson is 46. She plays Ahsoka Tano in Ahsoka, The Mandalorian, and The Book of Boba Fett. She was also in Rent, Men in Black 2, Sin City, Grindhouse, and a bunch of other movies. Andrew W.K. is 46 today. Andrew W.K. is 46 today. Jerry, were you there the day when we were on the air at the Eagle when Andrew W.K. came in the studio and he ate one of the brownies from our Tips Treats box?
I don't know.
All right, if you don't remember, then it was probably a no.
Right.
We also mentioned Tips Treats earlier, talking about what to get mom for Mother's Day. And there's another tie-in right there. We actually had Tips Treats delivered to the station one day, and Andrew W.K. was visiting, and he ate one of our brownies. That's
Okay.
not a innuendo. He ate an actual brownie. It was just one day.
Was he just very high?
No, he was just cool.
Okay.
Just very cool guy.
All right.
Loved the brownie. Also celebrating a birthday today, actor John Corbett is 64. He played Aiden on Sex and the City, Chris the disc jockey on Northern Exposure, and the non-Greek groom in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. John Corbett turned 64. Billy Joel is 76.
Wow.
Yeah.
He looks great.
Yeah. His biggest hits, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, My Life, Tell Her About It, Piano Man, We Didn't Start the Fire, which was bravely taken on and covered with the 21st Century version by Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked their version. It was pretty good.
That's a tall order, is to walk into a studio one day and say, all right, we're going to redo We Didn't Start the Fire. But
well, you have to ask Billy Joel first.
What? Yeah.
And he has to go, yep, that sounds good. Like, what are you going to do with it? Like, that's why Michael Jackson only allowed Weird Al Yankovic to do parodies, because he loved everything that guy did. And then Alien Ant Farm did Smooth Criminal. And he just loved, that's the weirdest thing in the world. He loved Alien Ant Farm.
That is very random. And and I'm usually, to me, the whole, doing a cover song is, I'm not even sure if 50-50 is a good, percentage to give it. Because usually a lot of the cover songs I hear, I'm like, why did you bother? You're like, unless you know that you have somehow completely turned it on its head or made it better than the original, just don't even mess with it.
Yeah.
There are very few examples where a cover song beat the original, kind of like a sequel in movies.
Yeah, I mean, probably the best cover that I can think of is Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey.
Who was the original?
George Jones.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And then Nothing Compares to You, Sinead O'Connor, which was a Prince song. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, but he gave her that song, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He had released Nothing Compared to You, but it would never really
hit. Yeah.
Yeah, it never really got any airplay or anything. But yeah, that was.
But give it to the bald white chick and poof, number one.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw a bald white girl, and I was like, that chick is hot. That is a hot shake. And then Dolores O'Riordan's like, hold my beer from the Cranberries. I was like, she is way hotter.
Yeah, but I think Sinead O'Connor got jealous of it, so she took that beard and shoved it in her butt. No, I'm serious. Sinead O'Connor was really into butt stuff.
I believe
Oh.
you.
And sadly, Dolores O'Riordan needed someone to actually take her beer away.
That's true.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
All right. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. You get past shows, links, contact info, and more, all right there on the website, treehouseonair.com.
You been watching the new Marvel stuff?
Yeah. All right. Full disclosure, I am still absolutely shook about the revelation Trey laid on us earlier today. Has anyone recovered from this information that Trey shared earlier?
From the beef Buick?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think that's going to stay with me at least all weekend and maybe for the rest of my life. I like to think when it comes to entertainment, especially when it comes to, radio shows, podcasts, even, visual things as well. I refer to things that are like sticky moments, things that you wouldn't expect to stick in people's minds, but they do.
Mhm.
This is a big one. I am never going to forget the day that Trey shared with us when his stepmom took him to Lion Country Safari as a child. She smeared ground beef all over the entire car to attract the lions.
Was she just trying to kill one of y'all? I don't understand what the goal was. Like
There was
that's a solid alibi. Hey, we were just driving through. Lion got him.
Yeah. Makes sense.
My stepmother loves big cats. Like she is always lions, anything. It wasn't like this wasn't just a one-time thing. She did it on multiple occasions.
Won't it eat like the clear coat off the Buick?
Their tongues are rough.
For the record, more than one time doing this is what the authorities refer to as a repeat offender, Trey.
and this is, mind you, this is like 1979, 1980. There were no laws.
The Wild West out there.
You go into Lion Country Safari and you just leave the doors open.
The Wild West.
Name something that was in Grand Prairie in 1980.
She would just, rub the Buick down with meat and put me on the hood.
and set a watch.
Yeah.
Every
this
time
jerky.
every time you guys left the park, she's like, damn it, he lived again.
I'm really surprised because if her going to such an extreme to wipe, to put ground beef on the car, did you ever think that maybe she would send you out into the field as well? Because that doesn't seem to be that big of a leap.
Now
Yeah,
all
yeah, it does.
Okay.
now all I see is like 8-year-old Trey in a ground beef blazer.
All in the name for taking a really cool photo. But by the way, that has happened. There was, I think it was in Africa somewhere. Shocking. There was a guy who was there doing a tour with his family. He left the vehicle to try to get closer photos of the lions, and wouldn't you know it, they ate him.
Yeah.
So to say that your stepmom would cover the car in ground beef, it wouldn't shock me if then you said that she would say, all right, go out there, try and get a photo with the lionesses.
she wasn't stupid. I mean, it's
Really?
not like it was a convertible.
Yeah.
The
Buick Skylark didn't have a sunroof.
Good thing you weren't driving that convertible Rabbit.
It had power windows though.
Oh.
Whose idea? Like somebody had to have told. Like she didn't come up with that on her own.
Oh yeah, she did.
Really? That's
Mhm.
almost diabolical.
I like you have Jackie is one of a kind, and like she is like there was never any halfway with her. It's always all the way, and so she wanted to have the close encounter with the big cats, and so that was the best way. I mean, and she would literally, this isn't something like she would have it in the back seat, and then before you went into the lion enclosure, she would get out, rub the car with ground beef, then get back in and drive in.
She did it on the premises.
Oh yeah, because obviously they would stop you if you went rolling in there with ground beef. So.
Obviously,
yeah.
You're right, Trey. You're right. She certainly was not a woman that did things half-assed. I mean, if she was going to cover the car in ground beef to go into the lion enclosure, it wasn't going to be just half the car. It's going to be the whole car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only question in my head now, and I don't know why, is was it like 80-20 or 70-30? Like what kind of ground beef?
Did they have a difference back then?
Yeah. But I just feel like, can you
butcher
imagine
or from a tube?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine the guy like at the meat section at Kroger's? Like, man, she just loves ground beef. She looks good for as much hamburger as she eats.
That's just wow.
Yeah.
How long were you like? Would she just wait and just stop and let the lions lick the car clean, or does at some point does someone show up and say, "All right, come on, keep it moving"?
You had to keep it moving, like because I mean there are obviously cars behind you. So that means slow roll.
Okay, so that means there were people behind your car watching your stepmom get out and start rubbing ground beef on the car.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And no one ever
imagine.
Like,
imagine if
no one ever thought to like stop her and go like, "Hey, I don't think you should do that."
Or not even that. Like, can you imagine like if nobody saw her do it, and then you're just like slow rolling through the lion enclosure, and there's just this lion licking the car. Like the car behind you is like, what is? Like, how do we get that?
You don't want to know. You really. No wonder Trey's attracted to crazy women.
There you go.
It all makes sense.
Yeah,
Trey's just in a corner
really
rubbing
does.
ground beef. On
Really, Trey just had a breakthrough here inside the tree. That's why he's attracted to crazy women. Yeah, and also why he on occasion will cover himself in meat on date night. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. No wonder that Costco membership keeps paying off, doesn't it? Treehouseonair.com. Be sure to find and follow us on social media as well. For the show, it's at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, by some miracle, is still alive, at Trey Trenholm 1. For Raj, it's at Comedian Raj. And for Jerry, it's at That Jerry Guy. We'll see you back here on Monday inside the Treehouse.